This week is all about the exact preparations for your online course, and this is video 3 of the 4 videos that you can watch this week. In order for you to be able to prepare for your course creation much easily and to set yourself up for success so that you could create a course that is loved by your students, followed through by your students, referred to by your students, and generates you the revenue without you having to really trade your time for money, right? And today we are going to talk about how you can dial in and standardize your framework. So on Monday, let me just, look at my notes. We talked about the 3 distinct areas in your business where you could take inventory of what you have. And then on Tuesday, we talked about how you could create a framework and what is a framework that you have to create. And today we are going to talk about how to dial in that framework and why is it important. Let's dial back a little bit. And I know if you have multi-passions, creative juices, you love what you do, then you like to innovate, you like to offer new things so that you keep things in flow and you keep experimenting and you keep changing things around, keep offering different things. But it doesn't mean that this is what business is about. Even if you build a service-based business, there should be a foundational piece, a framework that delivers the same result on repeat, just like as a product-based business delivers the same product each and every time, right? And you can live your passion, multi-passions, in different ways in life outside your service-based business. Or if you have the capacity, besides the foundational piece in place for your service-based business, then you can also try and innovate and, let your creative juices flow. My name is Zsuzsanna, and I help overstretched business and mindset coaches leverage their time and expertise by turning their one-on-one coaching packages into self-study courses in order for them to have the life that they wanted when they started out as an online coach, right? And this is exactly why I am on a mission, because once you start, helping people, showing up from a place of service, and you see how many different aspects of the same problem you can solve, then you start spreading yourself thin, and it doesn't help anybody, especially you. And if you really want to build a business, you should be able to keep your framework separate from your identity. And this is why you need to be able to create that framework and deliver that framework in a way that it helps and supports the people, makes the impact without you having to compromise on your own life, on your personal desires and your own expertise, right? So if you know that you have what a framework is, it is an underlying system that helps certain procedures stay in place, right? So it means that you have a process that helps your ideal students, clients, and actual clients and students get from a problem to a solution, right? And during that process, they have to have different steps, or they have to take different steps. Those steps usually add up to the journey, right? But you have to test it out and keep the steps only that could be standardized. And those steps will become the foundational pieces for your framework. I mean, the cornerstones or the pillars. If we look at my proprietary method and my framework, the Teacher Obvious method, it incorporates 4 pillars, and namely they are the onboarding process, which is very important to manage expectations and meet the students where they are at. Then the assessment, what type of assessment, and especially self-assessment methods do you build in order for your students to track their own progress. Then the different assignments that they can have in order for them to have the courage and motivation to implement what you teach with your course. And then the exit strategy, how they can leave your course without feeling like a failure. So those are the pillars on which my method rests, or those are the pillars that should be, built into an online course that could be studied as a self-study course. You don't have to hop on weekly calls or keep your students accountable, because they can track their own progress. They feel how they get ahead, and they also understand what it is that they need to practice, what it is that they need to work more on, and how they can get to the desired state. So, but if you are not there yet with your framework, you are at the very early stages of recognizes that what you do is a repeatable process that happens to be very similar from client to client. Then there are these 3 ways by which you can dial in your framework and distill it, right? And standardize it. So obviously, way number 1, or the very obvious one, is that you have one-on-one coaching clients, right? But I encourage you to start and document it. Start and document each and every stage of the process, working together with your clients, and try and create standardized descriptions for those, different processes or the journey by which you facilitate your clients. That is number 1, right? Once you have, and I'm sure you have had one-on-one clients, and you have understood, the starting point and the finishing point of that process. So you have like a good enough understanding of the process itself. Then I recommend 2 different ways to test out. One of them is power sessions, and the other one is VIP days. And how these can play into your coaching business and your preparation as an online coach, right? So a VIP day is basically an intensive that helps your VIP day client get right over the finish line with the solution, right? So it takes them right into the finish line, which means that you collapse time for them and you deliver the result within a day, in a matter of a couple of hours. which could be followed up with, you know, support Voxer days, where you can go back and forth on Voxer or Marco Polo and see if they have implemented everything and anything that they had to, because during the VIP day, you have given them the tools and the resources. You have created and handed over all the necessary things that they need to be able to solve the problem. And you have taken yourself out of the process, of the facilitation process. You don't hop on calls with them to give sessions around how to do and what to do with those resources as they go along, but you can have like check-in days or check-in, calls with them, right? And the other one is power sessions, and those power sessions can come into play when you understand what are the different stages for your specific framework, and how those different phases can be implemented on their own. So for instance, if we take the example of the teacher obvious method, there are coaches out there offering online courses, and they only need to have like certain bits and pieces or aspects of their course to be fixed. Then we can work on that during a power session. What is that? For instance, if they don't have a good enough course completion rate within their course, then what you can do is book a power session with me, and then we look at the different assignments. If they have the assignments readily made for the students to help them implement what you teach with your course. Or if there are, other aspects of your course that you want to fix, then the power sessions are for you. But you can also offer a power session to get the project started. For instance, if you have a framework, but you don't know how you could turn it into a course, you can also book a power session to have your curriculum written, for instance. So these are the different phases or stages of course creation that you can get help with. And why do I say that you could offer power sessions yourself? Is because you can dial in more, fine-tune your process even more, and then once you distill it into a course, then you know exactly what you expect from your students and what your students can expect from the course, not from you because you are not there teaching, right? So let's just recap quickly what we have talked about today. Once you understand that you have a kind of starting point and a finishing point for the process that you accompany or facilitate or hold space for with your one-on-one coaching clients, you have to start documenting it. You can make recordings, you can make notes, and you can identify the certain patterns that come up, right? So these are the aha moments, these are the phases, these are the stages by which all of my clients go through, right? And then once you have that, you can start offering VIP days where you collapse time, condense everything into one day of one day, and then they can get all the tools, all the strategies, all the necessary resources. You design the plan and they go and implement it, and then there are certain check-in sessions with your clients, right? And then the third way is that once you understand, you have phases or stages of the process that almost all of your clients had to pass in order for them to get closer to the solution they were seeking. Then you can offer those phases as power sessions, which is a method of 60 to 90 minutes with a client, focusing on that one stage or phase of your framework, and you can fine-tune that piece of framework or that piece of your framework in order for you to be able to design a better learning experience within your course, right? So come back tomorrow, same time, same place, because we are going to talk about how to create the documentation during your one-on-one sessions so that you can use it for your online course creation. Until tomorrow, have a lovely rest of your day.